Nanda Brajajana Ranjana Yashodananda Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari And the child will lead the way, it says in the Bible, giving the example. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandasya Gananzana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militangina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wow. Ja. Ja, das ist eine gute Idee, die aufzuheben. Vielen Dank. Wow. Varnamala. Alles Waldblumen, Wiesenblumen. Ja, und ein paar aus dem Gewächshaus. Deutsch oder Englisch ist wieder die große Frage. Who does not understand German? Some. Und wer versteht kein Englisch? Oh, the majority of 3 people. 3 people. Actually, du sprichst Deutsch. So, okay, nur noch zwei, die kein Englisch verstehen. Dann sprech, then I speak in English. Try to speak in English. Übersetzung vom Englischen ins Deutsche. Ja, machen wir. Welcher Vers ist das? 33, oder? Ja. We are reading in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 26 entitled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, text number 33. Adashrayatvam Shabdasya. Bitte? Which one is there? Actually, I got first text number 32, but yesterday Govinda spoke on that. Which one is it? Oh, that's different.
No, she did it today. She did the verse today.
3 is here. I mean, that should be clear and reliable. Ah, it's nice, but today is this verse. Okay, so sorry, we cannot chant it in together in unison, but I just chant it like this. 33. Yesterday was 32, so today 33. Aber it macht keinen Sinn. Doesn't make sense now to write it again. Now we start. Sorry, I'm late anyway. Again. Ja, genau. Ja. Oh yeah. If one opens this board, I hope it's empty inside. It is. If you can project it.
What did I do? The verse. Is not the right verse? No, it's easy.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's nice. Like this.
Can you see?
I hold it. Okay. All right. We do it like this. Kann ich anfangen? Atashrayatvam Shabdasya. Artashrayatvam Shabdasya. Drashturlingatvam evacha. Drashturlingatvam evacha. Tanmatratvam chanabhaso. Tanmatratvam chanabhaso. Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Atashrayatvam shabdasya. Drashturlingatvam evacha. Tanmatratvam chanapasa. No. Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Okay, Maharaji. Finished. Thank you. Drashturlingatvam evacha. Matrarachanavaso. Atvam chanavaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu Atashrayatvam shabdasya Drashtulingatvam evacha Matratvam chanavaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Mataji's? Atashrayatvam shabdasya Drashturlingatvam evacha Tanmatratvam chanapaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Atashrayatvam shabdasya Drashtulingatvam evacha Tanmatratvam chanapaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Atashrayatvam shabdasya Tanmatratvam chanapaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Atashrayatvam shabdasya Drashturlingatvam evacha Tanmatratvam chanavaso Lakshanam kavayo vidu. Artha ashrayatvam, that which conveys the meaning of an object. Shabdasya, of sound. Drashtu, of the speaker. Lingatvam, that which indicates the presence. Eva, also. Cha, and. Tatmatratvam, the subtle element. Cha, and. Naabasa, of either. Lakshanam, definition. Kavaya, learned persons. We do know. Translation. Persons who are learned and who have true knowledge define sound as that which conveys the idea of an object, indicates the presence of a speaker screened from our view, and constitutes the subtle form of either. Purport. It is very clear herein that as soon as we speak of hearing, there must be a speaker. Without a speaker, there is no question of hearing. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge which is known as Shruti, or that which is received by hearing, is also called Apurusha. Apurusha means not spoken by any person materially created. It is stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Rida, the sound of Brahman or Veda was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma, the original learned man, Adi Kavaye. How did he become learned? Whenever there is learning, there must be a speaker and the process of hearing. But Brahma was the first created being. Who spoke to him? Since no one was there, who was the spiritual master to give knowledge? He was the only living creature. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge was imparted within his heart by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is created within everyone. Sorry, I don't have my original glasses. He was the only living creature. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge was imparted within his heart by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated within everyone as Paramatma. Vedic knowledge is understood to be spoken by the Supreme Lord, and therefore it is free from the defects of material understanding. Material understanding is defective. If we hear something from a conditioned soul, it is full of defects. All material and mundane information is tainted by illusion, error, cheating, and imperfection of the senses. Because Vedic knowledge was imparted by the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to material creation, it is perfect. I repeat the sentence. Because Vedic knowledge was imparted by the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to material creation, it is perfect. If we receive that Vedic knowledge from Brahma in disciplic succession, then we receive perfect knowledge. Every word we hear has a meaning behind it. As soon as we hear the word water, there is a substance, water, behind the word. Similarly, as soon as we hear the word God, there is a meaning to it. If we receive that meaning, an explanation of God from God himself, then it is perfect. But if we speculate about the meaning of God, it is imperfect. Bhagavad Gita, which is the science of God, is spoken by the personality of Godhead himself. This is perfect knowledge. Mental speculators or so-called philosophers who are researching what is actually God will never understand the nature of God. The science of God has to be understood in disciplic succession from Brahma, who was first instructed about knowledge of God by God himself. We can understand the knowledge of God by hearing Bhagavad Gita from a person authorized in the disciplic succession. When we speak of seeing, there must be form. By our sense perception, the beginning experience is the sky. Sky is the beginning of form, and from the sky, other forms emanate. The objects of knowledge and sense perception begin, therefore, from the sky. Atashrayatvam shaptasya drashturlingatvamevacha tanmatratvam chanaphasu lakshanam kavayo vidu. Persons who are learned and who have true knowledge define sound as that which conveys the idea of an object, indicates the presence of a speaker screened from our view, and constitutes the subtle form of ether. The situation is that Kapila Muni is speaking to his mother, Devahuti. Shi Pala Lakshmi Singadev Ki Jai. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Kapila Muni, the incarnation of Godhead, is speaking to his mother Devahuti. He is about to leave the home, to leave his mother behind and go, preaching, speaking the knowledge to all the people. And his mother asked him to please give her the knowledge which will liberate her from attachment to and entanglement in the material world. So Kapila Muni explains in this chapter, he explains the process of creation, how from the most subtle form of manifestation, the material creation unfolds. In the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explains, in the spiritual world, in the spiritual sky, there is Goloka Vrindavan, the planet of Krishna. From Krishna's body, the Brahman emanates, the spiritual light. We cannot imagine, unimaginable for us, how brilliant this light is. And it, actually, we have a small book, Beyond Time and Space, in German, Jenseits von Raum und Zeit. It is beyond time and space, beyond space, the spiritual world. There is no, it doesn't spread, it is just like time, eternity, it is just present, it is eternal, it is always there, no beginning, no end. And the space also, no beginning, no end. Prabhupada explains, there is the planet of Krishna. And from Krishna's body, the Brahman emanates. And in this Brahman, so many spiritual planets are present on which there is an incarnation of, there's one form of Krishna, Vishnu. And on each of these, and all of these planets, all the living entities are simply engaged in serving Krishna or his expansion, Vishnu. And so from time to time, just like in the sky, from time to time, a cloud forms from all the water particles, all the humid in the air becomes visible as a cloud. So from time to time a cloud manifests in the sky, becomes visible. Similarly, the material energy from time to time, it is manifested by Krishna's desire. The material energy is an eternal energy. It's always a part of Krishna. Just like if somebody is working, he is carrying some tools with him, a hammer, electric drill on the other side, just like these revolver heroes, 2 guns. And he's carrying his things with him, with the bullets, everything, has everything. A worker, he has all these things on him, he has his tools on him, always in the process of working. So the energies of Krishna, they are always Krishna's paraphernalia. They are always part of Krishna, and from time to time, Krishna manifests them. So the material energy is manifested by Krishna. First, it is the first manifestation, the first perceivable manifestation of matter is called pradhan, the most subtle form of material energy. The pradhan, then Mahavishnu, he appears in this pradhan, in this subtle cloud of matter. By his glance and his desire, the different ingredients are giving into the creation, are giving into this most subtle form. And slowly, slowly, the creation takes place from this most subtle form, pradhan, to Mahatattva, that is the beginning of manifesting of the three modes of material nature. The pradhan, it turns into the Mahatattva. That means the three modes are starting to interact with each other. Krishna gives by his glance the time element into this, just like a cook gives the ingredients into the pot. Krishna gives the different elements, whatever is necessary, into the creation. And slowly, the creation takes place, goes on to manifest. So in this verse, Kapila Muni explains to his mother. In this verse is explained the meaning of hearing, of sound. He explains to his mother, sound is that. Sound can be perceived by hearing. It indicates the presence of a speaker and constitutes the subtle form of ether. Without ether, the sound cannot be transported. So sound is defined by Kapila Muni like this. It enables us to hear, enables us to speak, and it indicates, it shows the presence of ether. Hearing has different functions. She's so eager to do some service, to speak something to us. Yeah, probably explain. Small children, they want the attention of everyone. They want to be the center of attention, like everybody of us wants to be the center of attention. But children, it's just not. They don't make a show. They don't try to show themselves as very disciplined, self-controlled. No, they just show that here I am, and I also want to do something. Yes, kirtan. Once there was a small bug in Srila Prabhupada's room, and Prabhupada's servant, he caught the bug, and Srila Prabhupada, he gave it to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada opened the window and put the bug outside of the window, so it is safe. And he said, "Now I give the whole world to you." Now I give the whole world to you. Like Krishna, he puts the living entity into the material world. Here, now I give the whole world to you. Now it's all yours to control, to dominate. Ishvaro Maham Bhogi. Now it's all. Now you are the one. Now I give the whole world to you. Therefore the living entity is called Purusha. Purusha, the enjoyer. Material in the spiritual world. Normally, we should be in the spiritual world, in our spiritual body, in the association of Krishna, Vishnu, serving him to his and our complete satisfaction. in a blissful relationship. But somehow we failed, and Krishna had to put us into this material world. Here, it's all yours. Good luck. Sorry. Not really. Krishna is always in our heart, directing our ways, directing our, if possible, our thoughts, our actions, our thoughts. Sometimes we hear him, what is called the good conscience, the conscience, ne? Das Gewissen, ne? In Deutsch, the conscience, the good part, our conscience, our knowing what is real, this conscience, that is the voice of the super soul. That is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Savastya Chahamriti Sanyavishtu, I'm staying in the heart, I'm present in the heart of everyone. From me, knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness are coming. So Krishna says, I am staying in the heart. From me, knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness are coming. So Krishna, he's trying to give us knowledge from time to time. From time to time we hear him. We are able to perceive. We can perceive the presence of Krishna's presence, the conscience. We know what's right. We hear it from inside. We feel it from inside. Sometimes we follow it. Sometimes we don't. We have this. Krishna is completely independent, and living entity also has a minor independence. We have our independence. We can do what we want. It's all ours. It's all up to us. And we follow Krishna instructions, or we don't follow. Either we follow Krishna or we follow Maya. Either we follow the voice of Krishna in the heart, or we follow the voice of our senses, of our mind. In this way we are moving about. We are supposed to always listen to Krishna. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, in the case of a pure devotee, he is always directed by Krishna. Just like Krishna was driving the chariot of Arjuna. Now Krishna explains to Arjuna, giving the example of the chariot which they were sitting on, situation of Bhagavad Gita. The senses are like the five senses, are like the five horses here. The reins I'm holding are the mind, connecting the senses to the driver. The driver is the intelligence. And the passenger is the soul. The passenger in the chariot, the passenger in the body is the soul. So in the sense, in the case of a pure devotee, Krishna is driving the chariot. Krishna is giving the instructions. And the pure devotee is able to always perceive Krishna's instructions, and he is always following them, always acting according to these instructions. We sometimes do, sometimes don't. So, therefore we are called Purusha, the enjoyer. We try to enjoy. We think we are the enjoyer when we are in Maya. When we are not in Maya, when we follow the instructions of Krishna, we can understand that we are supposed to act for Krishna's pleasure. not for the pleasure of our mind, of our senses, thinking ourselves to be the enjoyer. Purusha. So, the Vedic knowledge is not given by a person who is a Purusha. Prabhupada explains in this purport. The Vedic knowledge was first given to Brahma. This process of hearing, as described here, and started with Brahma. Brahma heard the sound about which this verse is speaking, is explaining. Brahma heard the sound, but Prabhupada says there was nobody else who could speak to Brahma. Brahma was the first person appearing in this universe, seated on a golden lotus, the stem coming from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, lying on the water, filling half of the universe. Prabhupada describes this situation. So Brahma was created by Krishna. He was seated on this lotus. It was completely dark. He didn't know what is going on. Where do I come from? Who am I? He didn't know anything. It was dark. Brahma, he was just put into this, he was just created by Krishna. He was just put into this situation, into this lotus flower, wondering, what's going on? Where am I? Why am I? Who am I? And who is speaking to him? Who gives him some knowledge? And Prabhupada says there was no other person. So the knowledge comes from within the heart of Brahma. Krishna starts to give him the knowledge. First, Brahma hears tapa, renunciation. So Brahma starts giving up, following his mind and senses. He just starts to meditate. And after a long time, he gets, after a long time of this tapa, Krishna starts to reveal to him the process of creation. Brahma understands who he is, a part of Krishna, a servant of Krishna, and why is there? What is this duty? What is it that he should perform? Brahma understands, and he starts. He understands that he has the ability to start the creation of everything in this universe. Prabhupada describes sometimes Brahma like being an architect. If you call an architect to make your apartment, to organize your apartment, to create your apartment, well, up there should be a lamp. So Brahma creates the sun and all the planets. He has all the knowledge coming from within his heart. And above the knowledge, the Vedic knowledge, the process of enlightenment, the process of how to act properly is also revealed in Brahma's heart. And Baba explains, this knowledge does not come from a conditioned soul, but it is aparushaya. Aparusha. It does not come from a person who considers himself the enjoyer, but it comes from Krishna directly, free from faults. Every living entity has 4 defects, so that we don't become overly self-conscience, so that we don't become puffed up. We have 4 defects built in. The first, our senses, we think they're so great, but our senses are defective. They're not perfect, they're imperfect. We cannot see what's behind this wall. We cannot hear what is a few hundred meters away, except when there's a festival in the village, then you can hear all this stupid music up to here, 3 kilometers. Normally, the senses are imperfect. They're not perfect. So we have imperfect senses. Therefore, we are in illusion. When at night we come into the room, our senses are imperfect. We cannot see. So therefore, we are in illusion. And we think slow. So I remember I have to go through the room. The light does not work. It's completely dark. So I have to go some steps into that direction to come to the room, to come to the door leading out of this dark place. And we are walking in the dark, and we think we should go this way. And then, boom, we hit into the closet. Ow! Imperfect senses. We are an illusion. Until finally we find the other door. We are an illusion. Therefore, because we are an illusion, we make mistakes. we are prone to make mistakes. And because we make mistakes, we tend to cheat. No, it wasn't my mistake. I did not do it. It was not me. No, it was, who knows what it was. I didn't do it. It wasn't me, officer. These 4 imperfections are there. Imperfect senses, illusion, making mistakes, tendency to cheat. All of us have it. But Krishna, the process, the instructions of Krishna, they are aparusha. They are free from these conditionings. The knowledge that Brahma got from Krishna, and that is coming down through the disciplic succession. Brahma gave this knowledge to Narada Muni, to Narada, who was manifested from his heart. Narada, the one who spreads devotional service, who instructed so many great souls, including Prahlad Maharaj, and also Vyasadev, who wrote down this knowledge coming from Krishna, the Adi Guru, to Brahma, to Narada. Vyasa, a disciple of Narada Muni, he wrote down the Vedic knowledge. And this Vedic knowledge is delivered to us by Srila Prabhupada, who strictly followed this process, giving us this knowledge coming from Krishna. In the disciplic succession, without changing the knowledge. Few days ago, I heard in the class, I listened by Srila Prabhupada, he said, sometimes people say, oh, Swamiji, you have done wonder. And I say, what wonder? I did not do anything. I just followed the instructions of my spiritual master. If you want to give me some credit, then you can give me the credit that I did not change the knowledge. Bhagavad Gita, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada gave as an example. So many editions of Bhagavad Gita given by famous persons. Heads of state, they gave their edition on Bhagavad Gita. But they concocted something. They say this talk between Krishna and Arjuna is like the talk between a physician and a patient. They say actually it did not happen like this. It is just a phantasmagoria, just made up by the author. Actually, like Krishna is giving the example, actually it is just a talk about a person, the five horses. Actually, it is the senses, and there's nothing more. It did not really happen, but Prabhupada says the place Kurukshetra is still there. There are some temples, and even some geologists, they found some places in Kurukshetra where still the sand is molten into kind of glass. Some surfaces are there. The sand is molten, almost like glass. One can see by great heat, this sand was transferred into a hard surface that shows that some extreme heat was present there. 5,000 years ago, these special weapons have been used by the warriors, and even the earth, even the sand was molten by the extreme heat. This battle took place. Srila Prabhupada is giving the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without changing anything, presenting the knowledge apaurusha, without any faults, just as it is coming down from Krishna. So Prabhupada is delivering us in the perfect way this process of hearing from a real authority, by the real process, by speaking, so that we are able to hear. The Krishna consciousness, devotional service starts with hearing. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, who came from school, so Prahlad, what is the best thing that you heard in school today? And Prahlad says, the best thing I heard is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and he recounts the 9 processes of devotional service. That was Hiranyakashipu was not amused when the English queen gets completely angry. Why is the tea cold? The servants say, Her Majesty is not amused. So Hiranyakashipu, he was not amused, and Prahlad, what did you say? Well, but Prahlad, he just gave the process that he heard from his spiritual master. The way of devotional service, that is the best that I heard. It starts with Shravanam, with hearing. And who is the devotee who attained perfection by the process of hearing? Nobody. Yes, Parikshit Maharaj attained perfection by hearing. For 7 days he was listening to Shukadev Goswami, who was given as the example for a person who attained perfection by speaking, Shravanam, Parikshit Maharaj, Kirtanam, Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj, for 7 days, he just listened to the Bhagavatam. He put the perfect questions that made the speaker, Shukadev Goswami, ecstatic. And in this way, we got this most wonderful knowledge contained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we are able to hear it. And Srila Prabhupada said, just by also by reading, we have his association. And in the Bhagavatam itself, it said, in every page we can see Krishna. Every page of this Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said if somebody takes a book and just reads one word, his life starts to become perfect. And every day we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, we are talking with each other about the process of devotional service. So we have this wonderful opportunity given by Srila Prabhupada, this wonderful opportunity of hearing from the right person, from the right source, free from false, the perfect knowledge. So, is there any question or comment? Adipurusha Prabhu, could you give some comment? You could give many comments.
Thank you, Akhila Prabhu.
Thank you.
For a thorough explanation, for thoroughly explaining these points on. I liked how you explained how from the clear sky a cloud may appear. And about the tools that one carries with him. But I have a question that's probably a question you have heard many times, and still, maybe you could, it's a question that we are asked and we ask ourselves too. We are supposed to learn to, we are supposed to become purified to hear Krishna in the heart. And sometimes we know, oh, that was Krishna in my heart after some time. So what would you say? What would be some advice that we make no mistake and that we can advance toward proper understanding that this is Krishna and this is not Krishna, this is Maya?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Prabhupada said one should ask the spiritual master, how can I make spiritual progress? So we should ask the spiritual master how we can make progress. Krishna is in our heart. I remember exactly when I started chanting, I heard there was this voice in the heart, you should do like this. And I knew it, yes, that's right. But then there was another voice, the voice of the mind. Actually, why don't you do like this? And yes, why don't I do like this? And I just, I did the wrong thing. How to discriminate? Sometimes the mind comes dressed up like the super soul, puts on some plastic arms, some extra arms. The super soul is speaking. Listen to me, I will tell you the right thing, don't worry. The right thing for you is to do this. Just follow what your senses are telling you. Just go ahead. That's our mind telling us. And the super soul is, oh no, this guy, why doesn't he listen? Why does he listen to his mind again? How to discriminate? When is the super soul speaking? When is the mind speaking? If I knew that, I could answer it. But I cannot really answer it. We are working on purifying ourselves by hearing. It starts with hearing the Hare Krishna mantra. What gave me a great impetus was when I read about don't remember which canto. Prabhupada describes one should not, one purport, one should not try, when chanting, we should not try to imagine a form of Krishna, but we should simply concentrate on hearing the sound of the Hare Krishna mantra. I started doing this, and it was very good. It was wonderful. I started doing this, starting to concentrate on hearing. Just concentrate on hearing. Concentrate means nothing else. Just put your attention on this one point. Sasarup Maharaj wrote in his small book, Japa Reform Notebook. When you start to do something, for example, if you go into the kitchen, want to cook something, you empty your working place. First, you clean your working place, push aside and put away everything so that you have a clear space, a clean space in which you start to work, doing your service. So, concentrate means just push away everything else. The mind comes, yes, you can, just remember you did this, and some picture, ooh, see this, listen to that. The mind is bringing all these items to our attention, trying to, but we just chant the Hare Krishna mantra and we concentrate single-mindedly, single-pointedly. We concentrate on hearing, Prabhupada writes, concentrate on hearing, on just hearing, speaking the Hare Krishna mantra and hearing it. In this famous record, the first record the devotees released, Prabhupada says this consciousness, Krishna consciousness, is the original energy of the living entity. And when we hear this sound vibration, the Hare Krishna mantra, when we hear this sound vibration, this consciousness is revived. It sounds so simple. When we hear this consciousness, when we hear this sound vibration, this consciousness is revived. When we hear this sound vibration, when we hear the Hare Krishna mantra, this consciousness, our Krishna consciousness, it is revived. It starts to awaken. It starts to live again. It starts to be present. We start to become a spiritual personality again. Yeah? And we are, when we just go on with this process, when we hear the Hare Krishna mantra, we chant and hear. It's an offense, 11 offense, to be inattentive. And the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada writes, with great care and attention, one should turn towards Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna mantra. With great care and attention. With great care means speaking every syllable. Not just like a robot producing some sound and faster and more reduced. One devotee gave in a class, he gave different ways of chanting, how it should not be. There's also the Trabant mantra. Those were the small cars that they had in Eastern German Republic, DDR. Trabant. They started like Our chanting should not be Trabant mantra. No, we chant with great care every syllable. Hare Krishna, like Prabhupada does. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With great care and attention, we hear single-pointedly, with concentration, we hear this mantra. We don't hear ourselves, but we hear the mantra. So with great care and attention, we are hearing concentratedly. With concentration, we concentrate on hearing. And this way, our Krishna consciousness is revived. You know better than me. This is the process. Hearing. Slow, and one day we will be able, yes, we will be able to just listen to the Super Soul. Thank you for coming here. Is there another question? Maharaji. Maharaji.
Ich hatte mal gehört, die erste Stimme, der erste Ratschlag zu einem bestimmten Thema, das ist immer die Überseele.
The first advice that you hear, that's the Super Soul that you hear inside.
Dann habe ich mal so drauf geachtet, bei mir selbst.
She listened to it?
Ja.
Das
hat sich schon teilweise bestätigt, aber.
And it's confirmed, yeah, mostly. How to discriminate if it's the mind or if it's the Super Soul. The first thing coming to your mind, that is the Super Soul. Kishore Kund Maharaji says. The Super Soul is not just most subtle, it is transcendental. It is the first. Yeah, the first thing coming to our mind. Kishore Kund Maharaji says that is that which comes from the Super Soul. We should follow that. Yeah, Bashar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I once asked the same question, and the answer I got was the short answer. I mean, there was a long answer, and the short answer was, you can't. That's why you need Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru.
Yes, right.
At least in the beginning stage.
So, Bashar Prabhu asked this question. The answer he got was, you cannot really discriminate. So therefore, we follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. If we have some question, we look it up. For example, in the index of Bhagavad Gita or in the index of Bhagavatam. If we have some problem, we look up. For example, mind. We look it up in the Bhagavad Gita, M, and there here it is. And this mind starting activities on ethereal platform. Aniruddha as Lord of mind of child reflects parent's mind. Oh yeah. Compared to a lamp flame, compared with intelligence, contamination in, discipline of, so many explanations, all these wonderful explanations are there of mind, of Super Soul. Whenever we have questions, we turn towards Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, yes. Difficult to perceive if it's our mind, if it's the Super Soul, yeah. We are still conditioned. So we follow Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Yes, then we are safe. Thanks. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Akhila Prabhu ki jai.
Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Entschuldigung, aber sie hatte auch schon einen Becher.
Sie wollen deine Vater unterbrechen.
Aber es ist richtig, man sollte.
Ich glaube, bei Ekadashi sollte man trotzdem, oder also die so den Mashtami und solche Tage sollte man trotzdem den Unterricht auf Wasser bringen.
Ich habe nicht darüber gesprochen. Nein, heute ist eine Ekadashi, eine Damashtin.
Ja, aber ich meine, sollte man trotzdem den Unterricht auf Wasser bringen.
Richtig, ja, einfach der Form halber.
So hast du mir das gesagt.
Aha.
Egal was,